Captain Daquan stood on the bridge of the Indomitable, staring at the endless darkness of space. His ship had been patrolling the quarantine line for 3 months now. 3 long, boring months of watching nothing happen. Earth had joined the Galactic Council 47 years ago. It should have been humanity's greatest moment. Instead, it became their greatest disappointment. The aliens took one look at Earth and labeled it a death world. Too much gravity, too many diseases, too many ways to die. And humans? The aliens called them dangerous, too aggressive, too unpredictable, too scary. So the Council built an invisible wall around human space. Humans could talk to aliens through screens. They could trade through automated stations. But they could never leave their corner of the galaxy. Earth's mighty fleet, built to explore the stars, became prison guards watching their own borders. "Captain, we're picking up something strange," said Commander Ji Woo from the sensor station. She was young but sharp, with eyes that never missed a detail. Daquan walked over to her station. "What kind of strange?" "It's a distress signal, sir. But it's coming from deep inside Council space, at least 50 light-years past the quarantine line." That made no sense. The Council had millions of ships. They didn't need help from quarantined humans. "Maybe it's a mistake. Check the frequency." Ji Woo's fingers flew across her console. Then she stopped. Her face went pale. "Sir, this signal is using an old Earth emergency frequency, the kind we used 200 years ago." Daquan felt his heartbeat quicken. "That's impossible. How would aliens have our old codes?" "I don't know, sir, but someone out there is definitely calling for help, and they're calling us specifically." Daquan hit the communication button. "Dr. Hey-sun, report to the bridge immediately." 2 minutes later, the ship's xenolinguist arrived. Dr. Hey-sun was a small woman with gray hair and a mind like a supercomputer. She had spent 30 years studying alien languages. If anyone could decode this mystery, it was her. She listened to the signal 3 times. Her expression grew more troubled with each replay. "This is Valorian," she said finally, "but mixed with human code structures. Someone taught them our language." "What are they saying?" Daquan asked. Hey-sun took a deep breath. "They're begging for help. There's an attack happening on their research station. Something is killing them. They say the Council can't help. They say only humans can stop it." The bridge went silent. Every officer turned to look at their captain. "Where are the Valorians located?" Daquan asked quietly. "Valoria Prime. It's in the heart of Council space, their homeworld." Daquan knew about Valorians. Everyone did. They were the most peaceful species in the galaxy. They looked like large butterflies with rainbow wings. They had never hurt anyone. They spent their lives making art and studying science. The idea of someone attacking them made Daquan's blood boil. "Sir, we can't cross the quarantine line," Ji Woo said carefully. "Earth has standing orders. If we violate Council space, they could declare war." "I know the orders, Commander." Daquan walked to the main view screen. Out there, somewhere in the dark, innocent people were dying. And they had specifically called Earth for help. He opened a secure channel to Earth Defense Command. Admiral Tae-yun's face appeared on the screen. The old admiral looked tired. He had fought in the border wars before the quarantine. He knew what it meant to be caged. "Admiral, we've received a distress call from inside Council space." Daquan explained the situation quickly and clearly. Tae-yun listened, without interrupting. When Daquan finished, the admiral was quiet for a long moment. "You know what you're asking, Captain. If we send ships across that line, Earth could be expelled from the Council. We could be completely isolated." "Yes, sir. But someone out there learned our language, studied our history, built a beacon just to call us. They believe we're the only ones who can help them." "And you believe them?" "I believe they're terrified, sir. And I believe humans don't abandon people who ask for help." Admiral Tae-yun smiled slightly. It was not a happy smile. It was the smile of a soldier who had been waiting for this moment. "The Council thinks we're dangerous. Maybe it's time we showed them why." "Sir?" "I'm authorizing a rescue mission, Captain. Take 4 more ships. Full battle readiness. Go save those Valorians." "And the Council?" "I'll handle the Council. You just focus on bringing our people back alive. And Captain, don't start a war. But if someone already started one, you have my permission to finish it. The communication ended. Daquan turned to his crew. They were all watching him with a mixture of fear and excitement. Ji Woo, signal the Relentless, the Thunderstrike, the Horizon, and the Phoenix. Tell them to form up on us. Combat formation. Yes, sir. Hey, son, try to establish contact with whoever sent that signal. Let them know help is coming. I will, Captain. Helm, plot a course to Valoria Prime, maximum speed. The helmsman hesitated only a second. Sir, that course crosses the quarantine line. I know exactly where it goes. Engage. The Indomitable's engines flared bright blue. Around it, 4 more Earth warships appeared from the darkness. Together, they turned toward forbidden space. Within minutes, automated Council warning systems activated. Alarms blared across a dozen species monitoring stations. Emergency messages flooded Council communication networks. Warning: Deathworlder. Vessels crossing quarantine boundary. Repeat: the humans are loose. Daquan watched the warnings scroll across his screen. 47 years of being told humans were too dangerous, too violent, too unpredictable. Maybe the Council was right. Maybe they should be afraid. Because somewhere out there someone had called for help, and Daquan was going to make sure they got it. No matter what it took. No matter who tried to stop him. The 5 human warships disappeared into jump space, leaving only a trail of disrupted reality behind them. For the first time in half a century, Deathworlders were entering the galaxy. And the galaxy was completely unprepared for what that meant. The human fleet cut through space like knives through silk. 5 warships traveling faster than any Council vessel had ever moved. Inside the Indomitable, alarms screamed constantly as Council frequencies flooded with panic. Captain, we're receiving over 300 hails from Council authorities, Commander Jiwoo reported. They're demanding we turn back immediately. Captain Daquan didn't even look up from his tactical display. Ignore them. How long until we reach Valoria Prime? At current speed, 6 hours. But sir, we have a problem. There's a Council patrol ship moving to intercept us. Daquan finally looked up. Just one ship? Yes, sir. It's a Talvarian cruiser. The Peaceful Dawn. They're positioning themselves directly in our path. Dr. Hae-sun spoke from her station. The Talvarians are a diplomatic species, Captain. They'll try to negotiate. They won't fire on us. Good. I don't want to fire on them either. Daquan opened a channel. This is Captain Daquan of the Earth vessel Indomitable. We are responding to a distress call. We have no hostile intentions toward the Council. A face appeared on screen. The Talvarian captain looked like a blue jellyfish with too many eyes. Its translator made its voice sound musical and sad. Captain Daquan, you are violating the quarantine treaty. This is a severe offense. You must return to human space immediately or face consequences. People are dying. We received a direct call for help. The Council will handle any emergency. You must turn back. Daquan felt his patience running thin. With respect, Captain, we're not turning back. You can move aside or you can watch us pass. Your choice. The Talvarian's eyes rippled with distress. Then I must engage defensive protocols. The Peaceful Dawn raised its shields and powered up its plasma cannons. Ji Woo, target their shield generators. Minimum power. I want to make a point, not start a war. Yes, sir. Firing solution ready. Fire 1 shot. 10% power. A single railgun round launched from the Indomitable. It was a tiny piece of metal accelerated to a fraction of light speed. Humans had used kinetic weapons for centuries before joining the Council. The aliens thought such weapons were primitive. The round hit the Talvarian ship's shield and passed straight through it like it wasn't even there. The shield collapsed completely. Warning lights exploded across the Peaceful Dawn's bridge. The Talvarian captain stared in shock. Impossible! Our shields are rated against any Council weapon. You've never fought humans before, Daquan said calmly. That was a warning shot at minimum power. Move aside, Captain. We don't want to hurt you, but we won't stop. The peaceful Dawn turned and fled at maximum speed, broadcasting emergency warnings about the human fleet. Daquan felt a small measure of guilt, but not enough to slow down. Lieutenant Rin Na launched scout fighters. I want to know what we're flying into. Yes, sir. Lieutenant Rin Na was young and eager, one of Earth's best pilots. She ran to the fighter bay. Minutes later, 6 small fighters launched from the Indomitable. They shot ahead of the main fleet, moving even faster than the warships. Rin Na led them with the skill that had made her a legend in Earth's military. 4 hours passed. The fleet drew closer to Valoria Prime. Then, Rin Na's voice crackled over the communication system. Captain, you need to see this. The main view screen changed to show what Rin Na's fighter cameras were seeing. Daquan felt his heart sink. Valoria Prime was burning. Orbital stations hung in pieces, trailing debris and bodies into space. 3 massive alien ships orbited the planet, dark and angular, like geometric nightmares. They were firing beams of energy at the surface. Where the beams hit, cities vanished. What are those ships? Daquan demanded. Dr. Hey-sun was frantically searching databases. I found something. Oh no. Captain, those are Kresh dreadnoughts. Who are the Kresh? They're a machine intelligence, ancient. The Council thought they were extinct. According to these records, the Kresh were dormant for 10,000 years. If they've awakened, Hey-sun's voice trailed off. What are they doing? Harvesting. They consume biological life to fuel their systems. Captain, according to these reports, 3 other star systems have gone dark in the past month. The Council has been keeping it quiet. Daquan felt rage building in his chest. They knew. The Council knew there was a threat and they said nothing to us. The Kresh have destroyed every force the Council sent against them, Hai-sun continued. Council species don't have real militaries. They don't know how to fight. They've been helpless. Rin Na, get back to the fleet, now. Yes, sir. But Captain, I'm picking up a communication from the surface. It's faint. Patch it through. A new voice filled the bridge. It was soft and musical, speaking broken human English. Please help us. They are taking everyone. My name is Vextree. I am hiding with survivors in the old city. Please, humans. We studied your history. We knew only you could help us. Only you know war. Dr. Hey-sun gasped. Vextree is a council member, one of the Valorians' leaders. Vextree, this is Captain Daquan of Earth. We're coming. Hold on. You came. You actually came. The voice was filled with desperate hope. There was a scientist. Her name was Elu. She studied Earth for years. She said if we were ever in danger, we should call the Deathworlders. The council laughed at her. They said you were primitive and violent. But Elu said that's exactly what we would need. She was right. How many survivors? Maybe 2,000 in this shelter, but millions more across the planet. The Kresh are taking them to those ships, processing them. Daquan looked at his crew. Every face showed the same expression. Determination mixed with horror. Fleet-wide communication, Daquan ordered. All ships, this is Daquan. We're entering a combat situation against an enemy that has destroyed multiple council fleets. We are outnumbered at least 20 to 1. Our orders are to extract civilians and engage hostile forces. If anyone wants to object, speak now. Silence filled the channel. Then Captain Minji of the Relentless spoke. Sir, with respect, we didn't cross the quarantine line to run away from a fight. Agreed, said Captain Taehyun of the Thunderstrike. One by one, every captain confirmed. They were all ready. Good. Battle stations, deploy all fighters, prepare boarding teams. Let's show the galaxy what Deathworlders can do. The 5 human warships accelerated toward Valoria Prime. Behind them, they left a trail of disrupted space-time. Ahead of them waited an enemy that had conquered a dozen worlds unopposed. The Kresh detected the approaching human fleet. Their tactical systems analyzed the small force. 5 primitive vessels, no advanced shielding, no plasma weapons, no quantum disruption fields. The Kresh designated the humans as minimal threat. They continued harvesting the Valorian population without concern. It was the last mistake the Kresh would ever make. The Kresh dreadnoughts hung in orbit like metal predators. Each ship was 3 kilometers long, covered in angular armor and bristling with weapons. They had crushed every council force they encountered. Their tactical computers had analyzed and defeated 70 different species combat strategies. They had never fought humans before. Captain Daquan watched the enemy ships grow larger on his view screen. His crew was silent, waiting for orders. He could feel their tension, their fear, but also their readiness. Ji Woo, Tactical Analysis. Commander Ji Woo studied her screens. 20 Kresh warships total. 3 dreadnoughts, 17 smaller cruisers. They're using directed energy weapons, plasma-based. Our armor should handle it better than Council shields did. What about their defenses? Heavy shielding on the dreadnoughts. The cruisers have lighter protection. Sir, we're outnumbered 4-1. Daquan smiled. It was not a nice smile. They're used to fighting people who've never seen war. We're not those people. Engineer Young Mi, status on weapons? Engineer Young Mi was a short woman with strong hands and a mind for destruction. She grinned from her station. All railguns loaded and ready, Captain. Missiles armed, mass drivers charged. We've got enough firepower to crack a moon. Perfect. Fleet-wide channel? Daquan waited for the connection. All ships, this is Daquan. Pattern Delta 7. Hit them fast, hit them hard, don't stop moving. Remember your training. We're Deathworlders, let's prove it. The human fleet split into attack formation. The Kresh noticed the movement and began turning their weapons toward the approaching ships. Engage, Daquan shouted. The Indomitable's railguns opened fire. Metal slugs accelerated to incredible speeds, each one carrying the kinetic force of a small nuclear weapon. They slammed into the nearest Kresh cruiser's shields. The shields collapsed on the first impact. The second impact punched through the armor. The third impact went straight through the entire ship and out the other side. The Kresh cruiser broke in half, spilling mechanical debris into space. Enemy shields are inadequate against kinetic weapons, Ji Woo reported. They're designed to stop energy attacks, not physical projectiles. The other human ships opened fire. The space around Valoria Prime lit up with tracer rounds and missile contrails. 3 more Kresh cruisers exploded in the first 30 seconds of combat. The Kresh fleet reacted. Plasma beams lanced out toward the human ships. The energy weapons were devastating, capable of melting through council vessels in seconds. They hit the Indomitable's armor plating and scorched it black. But the armor held. Damage report, Daquan called out. Hull temperature rising. Armor at 85% integrity. We can take a lot more of this, sir. The Kresh seemed confused. Their weapons were striking targets, but the targets weren't dying. Their tactical computers scrambled to update threat assessments. These humans were supposed to be primitive. Sir, the Kresh are attempting to hack our systems, Ji Woo reported. They're trying to take control of our computers. Can they do it? Ji Woo laughed. No, sir. Our systems don't use galactic standard protocols. They're trying to hack technology they've never seen before. It's like trying to pick a lock that doesn't exist. Lieutenant Rin Na. How are our fighters doing? Rin Na's voice crackled over the communication system. Her fighter squadron was dancing through enemy fire. We're doing great, Captain. These Kresh ships are huge and slow. We're running circles around them. Daquan watched as Rin Na's fighter pulled a maneuver that would kill most alien pilots. She flipped her ship end over end while flying at maximum speed, dodging 3 plasma beams simultaneously. The G-forces involved would crush a Valorian into paste. But humans came from a high-gravity world. Their bones were dense. Their muscles were strong. Their bodies were built for punishment. Rin Na targeted a Kresh weapons array and fired missiles. The weapons platform exploded in a satisfying fireball. Sir, picking up a communication from the lead Kresh dreadnought, Ji Woo said. Put it through. A synthetic voice filled the bridge. It sounded like metal scraping metal. Unknown vessels. Cease hostilities. You are interfering with Kresh operations. Withdraw or be processed. This is Captain Daquan. You're attacking innocent people. We're here to stop you. Surrender now or we'll destroy every last one of your ships. Biological entities cannot defeat Kresh efficiency. You will be processed. We'll see about that. Cut the channel. Daquan turned to his crew. Target that dreadnought. Concentrate all fire. The human fleet converged on the lead dreadnought. Railgun slugs hammered into its shields from 5 different angles. The shields flickered and died. Missiles followed, impacting against bare armor. But the dreadnought's armor was thick. Very thick. We're not getting through, sir, young me reported. Then we get creative. Sergeant Bohan, are your Marines ready? From the Marine Bay, Sergeant Bohan's rough voice answered, Ready and waiting, Captain. Just point us at something to break. Bohan was a mountain of a man, covered in scars and tattoos. He had served in Earth's toughest combat units. He lived for moments like this. See that harvester ship? The one collecting Valorians from the surface? I see it, sir. Take your team and board it. Free those people. Yes, sir. Finally, something fun. The Indomitable maneuvered close to the Kresh harvester. Boarding pods launched from the ship's underside, each one carrying 10 heavily armored Marines. The pods punched through the harvester's hull like bullets through paper. Bohan was first through the breach, his heavy rifle already firing. The inside of the Kresh ship was a nightmare. Mechanical drones moved through corridors lit by harsh red light. In massive holding chambers, thousands of Valorians huddled in terror. The Kresh drones turned to face the intruders. They were built to handle delicate council species. They expected cooperation or easy resistance. What they got was Sergeant Bohan and 40 Marines who had trained in live volcanic zones and deep ocean trenches. Marines whose idea of exercise was running up mountains in full armor. The first drone raised a plasma weapon. Bohan shot it in the face. The drone exploded. More drones appeared. The Marines opened fire with weapons designed to function in any environment because Earth had every deadly environment imaginable. Move forward! Secure those holding chambers, Bohan roared. The Marines advanced like a tidal wave. Kresh drones tried to stop them. It was like trying to stop an avalanche with a broom. The drones were efficient. The drones were logical. But the Marines were angry. Within 10 minutes, Bohan's team had cleared the first section. Within 20 minutes, they had freed over 2,000 Valorians. Within 30 minutes, they had planted fusion charges throughout the harvester's engine room. Captain, charges set. We're evacuating with the civilians. Good work, Sergeant. Get back to the ship. Bohan and his Marines shepherded the terrified Valorians into the boarding pods. The small butterfly-like aliens stared at the huge armored humans with a mixture of fear and awe. Once everyone was clear, Bohan triggered the charges remotely. The Kresh harvester exploded from the inside, breaking into pieces that rained down onto Valoria Prime's atmosphere. One down, Daquan said. 17 to go. The battle raged on. The Kresh were learning, adapting, trying new strategies, but humans were adapting faster. Every time the Kresh changed tactics, the human fleet countered. Then Daquan saw his opportunity. One of the dreadnoughts had moved away from the others, pursuing the Phoenix too aggressively. Phoenix, this is Daquan. Break off and come about. I'm sending you a present. Understood, sir. Daquan turned to his helm officer. Prepare for ramming speed. The bridge went silent. Everyone knew what that meant. Sir? The helmsman asked carefully. Don't worry. We're not doing the ramming. Launch the Vengeful. The Vengeful was an unmanned frigate the fleet had brought along. It was old, scheduled for decommissioning. But its engines still worked fine. The Vengeful launched from the Indomitable's docking bay, accelerating on autopilot. Faster and faster it went, building up to relativistic speeds. The Kresh dreadnought noticed it too late. The frigate slammed into the massive ship at a fraction of light speed. The explosion was visible from 3 star systems away. When the light cleared, the dreadnought was simply gone. So was everything within 500 kilometers of the impact point. The remaining Kresh ships stopped moving. For the first time, they seemed uncertain. I think we got their attention, Jiwoo said quietly. Daquan nodded. Good. Now let's finish this. News traveled fast through the galaxy. Within 3 hours of the battle at Valoria Prime, every council species knew what had happened. The humans had crossed the quarantine line. The humans had fought the Kresh. The humans had won. On 1,000 worlds, people watched the battle footage in stunned silence. They saw human ships shrug off weapons that would destroy council vessels. They saw human fighters perform maneuvers that should kill their pilots. They saw human soldiers board enemy ships and fight in conditions that would kill any other species. The quarantined Deathworlders had just saved one of the galaxy's most beloved species, and they had made it look easy. Admiral Tae-yun sat in Earth Defense Command, watching reports flood in from across the galaxy. His communication console hadn't stopped beeping for 2 hours. Every council member wanted to talk. Some were angry, some were grateful, all of them were afraid. "Admiral, you have an urgent call from Council Prime Eldrin," his aide said. Tae-yun straightened his uniform. Council Prime Eldrin was the leader of the entire Galactic Council. Speaking to him was like speaking to the president of the galaxy. Eldrin's face appeared on the screen. He looked like a tall, thin crystal sculpture with too many arms. His species, the Eternal Ones, were ancient and wise. They had guided the Council for 10,000 years. "Admiral Tae-yun," Eldrin's voice was like wind chimes. "Your ships violated the quarantine treaty." "Yes, Council Prime, they did. They destroyed over a dozen Kresh vessels." "Yes, Council Prime. They saved 17,000 Valorian civilians." "Yes, Council Prime." Eldrin was quiet for a moment. "Why did you do this? You knew the consequences. Earth could be expelled from the Council. You could be completely isolated." Tae-yun met Eldrin's gaze steadily. "Because someone asked for our help, and humans don't abandon people who need us, even if those people have been treating us like dangerous animals for half a century." "We have never treated you as animals," Eldrin said, but his voice was uncertain. "Really? Then why the quarantine? Why the restrictions? You let us join the Council, but you won't let us truly be part of it. You're afraid of us. Your species is violent. Your history is filled with war and conflict. We built the quarantine to protect the galaxy." "To protect the galaxy," Tae-yun repeated. "And how well did that protection work against the Kresh?" Eldrin had no answer. At that moment, Commander Sang-hee entered the room. She was Earth's top intelligence officer, a quiet woman who saw patterns others missed. She carried a data pad and looked grim. "Admiral, I need to brief you immediately. It's urgent." Tae-yun looked at Eldrin. "Council Prime, I need to place you on hold. This is highly irregular. Someone is trying to exterminate your entire civilization. I think you can wait 5 minutes." Tae-yun muted the call. Sang-hee activated her data pad, projecting holographic images into the air. They showed star charts with multiple systems marked in red. "Sir, I've been analyzing Kresh attack patterns. In the last 4 months, they've hit 12 systems. All of them are Council worlds. Combined deaths are estimated at over 40 billion. Tae-yun felt sick. 40 billion? And that's a conservative estimate. "Sir, here's what's worse. The Council has known about the Kresh threat for at least 3 months. They've sent 7 different fleets to stop them. Every single fleet was destroyed." "Why didn't they tell us?" "Because they were embarrassed. The Council has maintained peace for 1,000 years by never needing a military. They have patrol ships and security forces, but no real war fleet. When the Kresh appeared, the Council had no idea how to fight them. So they kept it secret and let billions die." "Yes, sir. Until the Valorians got desperate. A scientist named Elu had been studying Earth for years. She didn't trust the Council's peaceful philosophy. So she secretly built that distress beacon and taught other Valorians about humans. When the Kresh came, they used it." Tae-yun looked at the star chart. The red markers were spreading, getting closer to more populated systems. "Where are the Kresh now?" "Their main fleet is gathering at the edge of Council space. Intelligence estimates over 800 warships. They're preparing for a final push toward the Council's core systems, including Sanctuary Prime." Sanctuary Prime was the Council's capital. 5 trillion beings lived there. It was the political, cultural, and economic heart of galactic civilization. "When will they attack?" "Within a week, maybe less." Tae-yun stared at the map for a long moment. Then he unmuted the call with Eldrin. Council Prime, I'm sending you a data package. Look at it. Eldrin reviewed the information. As he did, his crystalline body began to dim. This cannot be accurate. It's completely accurate. Your intelligence services have been hiding this from the public to prevent panic. But it's all true. 800 Kresh warships are coming to destroy everything you've built. We have no way to stop them. No, you don't. Your species forgot how to fight. You built a beautiful, peaceful civilization, but you forgot that peace has to be protected. What can we do? You can stop treating us like monsters and let us help you. Eldrin was silent for a very long time. Around him, other council members were gathering, listening to the conversation. Tai Yun could see fear in all of their faces. What do you want? Eldrin asked finally. First, lift the quarantine, immediately. Give humans full council membership and access to all council space. Agreed. Second, give Earth military command of the defense forces. The council's tactics have failed. Ours work. Let us do what we're good at. Eldrin looked at the other council members. There were whispered conversations in a dozen languages. Then Eldrin nodded. Agreed. What else? Third, share all intelligence about the Kresh. No more secrets. We need to know everything. Agreed. Tae-Yun leaned forward. And finally, Council Prime, you need to understand something. Humans are about to save your entire civilization. When this is over, you will never look at us the same way again. The quarantine dies today, but it can never come back. We're not going to be your pets or your prisoners anymore. We're going to be your equals. Can you live with that? Eldrin looked at the star chart showing the approaching Kresh fleet. He looked at the casualty estimates. He looked at the images of human ships destroying Kresh dreadnoughts. Yes, Admiral, we can live with that. Because without you, we won't live at all. Good, then let's get to work. Tae-Yun cut the communication and turned to his staff. Get me the Admiralty, all of them. Tell them to mobilize the entire Deathworlder fleet. Every ship we have. Sir, that's over 200 warships. If we deploy everything, Earth will be defenseless. Earth won't need defending if the galaxy falls. Move. Orders went out across Earth's military networks. In orbital shipyards, crews rushed to prepare vessels. In training facilities, soldiers grabbed their gear. In homes across the planet, families said quick goodbyes as their loved ones reported for duty. The Deathworlder fleet was awakening. Ships that had never left Earth's solar system began firing up their engines. Weapons that had only been tested in simulations were loaded with live ammunition. Dr. Hei-sun sent a message that was broadcast to every council species. Her voice was calm but firm. People of the galaxy, this is Dr. Hei-sun of Earth. You called for help. We heard you. We're coming. You thought we were dangerous. You were right. But we're not dangerous to you. We're dangerous to anyone who tries to hurt you. The Kresh are about to learn what it means to fight a species from a death world. We're going to show them what happens when you threaten our friends. Hold on. Help is on the way. Across the galaxy, terrified civilians heard those words and felt hope for the first time in months. On Earth, the Deathworlder fleet prepared to launch. 200 warships, 50,000 Marines, thousands of fighters, the largest military force humanity had ever assembled, and they were heading straight for the Kresh. Sanctuary Prime hung in space like a jewel. 5 trillion people lived on that world, and its orbital stations. It was the center of galactic civilization, the place where 1,000 species had learned to live together in peace. Now it was about to become a battlefield. Fleet Admiral Daquan stood on the bridge of the Indomitable, watching the tactical display. His promotion had come through just hours ago. He was now in command of the entire human fleet. 200 ships formed up behind him in perfect battle formation. Admiral, we're detecting the Kresh fleet, Commander Jiwoo reported. They're on the far side of Sanctuary Prime. 817 warships confirmed. Daquan studied the numbers. 800 against 200. Most commanders would call it suicide. But most commanders had never fought from a death world. What about council forces? They've assembled what they could. About 100 ships. But Admiral, their vessels are cargo haulers with guns strapped on. Civilian transports with makeshift armor. They're not real warships. They're people willing to defend their homes. That makes them real enough. Open a channel to the Council Fleet Commander. An alien face appeared on screen. It was a Valorian named Su Elu, daughter of the scientist who had created the distress beacon. Her rainbow wings were torn and scarred from the first Kresh attack. "Admiral Day Quan," she said in perfect human language, "my mother believed in your people. She died believing you would come. Thank you for proving her right. Your mother was wise, Commander Su Elu. We're going to finish what she started. Position your ships behind ours. Let us take the lead. We want to fight too. You will fight, but you'll fight smart. Follow our commands and we'll all get through this together." Su Elu hesitated, then nodded. "Understood, Admiral." Day Quan switched to fleet-wide communication. "All human ships, this is Day Quan. You know what we're facing. You know the odds. But I want you to remember something. Every species in this galaxy thought humans were too dangerous, too violent, too unpredictable. Today, we're going to prove them right. But we're going to show them that being dangerous isn't the same as being evil. We're dangerous to the things that threaten peace. We're violent toward those who prey on the weak. We're unpredictable to any enemy who thinks they can calculate our defeat. Today, the galaxy learns what Deathworlders really are. We are the shield. We are the sword. We are the ones who run toward danger when everyone else runs away. Battle stations." Across 200 ships, crews rushed to their posts. Weapons armed, engines flared, fighter pilots climbed into their cockpits. The Kresh fleet detected the approaching humans. Their collective intelligence analyzed the situation. They had destroyed 7 council fleets already. These humans had won a small battle, but this was different. This was the Kresh main force. The Kresh were certain of victory. "Enemy fleet advancing," Ji Wu called out. "They're moving into attack formation. Let them come. All ships, hold position. Wait for my command." The Kresh ships moved closer. Closer. 800 angular nightmares filling the space between the stars. Dr. Hei Sun was working frantically at her station. She had been analyzing Kresh communication patterns for days. "Admiral, I think I found something. The Kresh ships are all connected. They share one central intelligence." "So they're a hive mind?" "Essentially, yes. There's a command ship controlling all the others. If we can destroy it, the entire fleet might collapse." "Which one is it?" "I'm not certain, but based on communication patterns, I believe it's the large dreadnought in the center of their formation, the one that's holding back while the others advance." Daquan smiled. The Kresh command ship was hanging back, protected by hundreds of other vessels. It thought it was safe. "Lieutenant Rin Na, are you hearing this?" From her fighter in the hangar bay, Rin Na's voice came through crisp and clear. "I hear you, Admiral. You want me to hit that command ship. Can you do it?" "Sir, I can fly through a meteor storm and a lightning storm during an earthquake. I can do this. You'll have to get through 800 enemy ships." "Then I better fly fast. What's the payload?" "Antimatter warheads. Enough to crack a planet." "Oh, good. I was worried this would be difficult." Daquan heard the fear under her jokes. Rin Na knew this was a one-way trip. "Lieutenant, I'm not ordering you to do this." "With respect, Admiral, yes you are. And I'm saying yes, sir. My mother came from Earth's worst city. My father worked in the deep mines. I'm the daughter of survivors. This is what we do. We survive, and we make sure others can too. Good luck, Lieutenant." "Luck is for people who aren't from Deathworlds, sir. We make our own luck." The Kresh fleet entered weapons range. Plasma beams lanced out toward the human ships. The battle began. The human fleet didn't try to dodge. They flew straight into the enemy fire, armor-absorbing hits that would vaporize any council vessel. Then they returned fire. Railgun rounds tore through Kresh ships like paper. Missiles found weak points in enemy armor. Human tactics were chaos incarnate. No two ships doing the same thing. Impossible to predict or counter. The Kresh had analyzed and defeated 70 species combat strategies. But they had never fought a species whose entire strategy was be unpredictable and hit everything hard. "Launch all fighters," Daquan ordered. 2,000 human fighters poured out of their carrier ships. They swarmed the Kresh fleet like angry hornets. The Kresh tried to shoot them down, but the fighters were too fast, too maneuverable, flown by pilots who thought 12 G-turns were normal. In the chaos, Rin-Na launched. Her fighter was different from the others. It was smaller, faster, loaded with enough antimatter to destroy a moon. She pushed her engines to maximum and dove into the enemy fleet. Kresh ships fired at her. She rolled and dodged, her body pressed flat against her seat by forces that would turn most aliens into paste. Sweat poured down her face. Her vision started to tunnel. She didn't slow down. "I need a path," she called out. The entire human fleet shifted. Concentrated fire opened a corridor through the enemy formation. Kresh ships exploded to the left and right. Rin-Na flew through the gap, her fighter screaming through space. A Kresh cruiser tried to intercept her. She flipped her ship, flew backward while shooting forward, then rolled sideways through a gap barely wider than her wings. The cruiser crashed into another Kresh ship trying the same maneuver. "Almost there," Rin-Na whispered to herself. The command ship loomed ahead. It was massive, 3 times bigger than any other Kresh vessel. Its weapons tracked Rin-Na's fighter. She armed the antimatter warheads, set them for proximity detonation, then did something insane. She pulled 18 Gs in a straight vertical climb that should have killed her. Her body screamed in protest. Blood vessels burst in her eyes, but she stayed conscious through pure stubborn will, the will of someone whose ancestors had survived Earth's worst disasters. At the peak of her climb, she released the warheads and hit her ejection system. The fighter continued forward on momentum. Rin-Na's escape pod fired backward, away from the blast zone. The warheads struck the Kresh command ship. For a moment, there was only light, blinding, all-consuming light. When it faded, the command ship was gone. So was everything within 5 kilometers of it. Across the Kresh fleet, ships suddenly stopped moving. Their perfect coordination vanished. Without the central intelligence, they were just individual programs, confused and directionless. "All ships, engage at will," Daquan ordered. "Finish them." The human fleet tore into the disorganized Kresh. The council ships joined in, finally able to contribute. For 30 minutes, the battle raged. When it ended, the Kresh fleet was destroyed. Debris filled the space around Sanctuary Prime. The human fleet had lost 47 ships, 12,000 personnel dead, thousands more wounded. But they had won. Daquan searched the scanner frantically. "Find Lieutenant Rin-Na's escape pod." "Got her," Ji-Woo shouted. "Her pod's damaged but intact. She's alive." Relief flooded through Daquan. "Get a recovery team to her immediately." Hours later, the Indomitable's medical bay was crowded. Rin-Na lay in a recovery bed, her body covered in bruises from the brutal G-forces, but she was smiling. "Did we win?" she asked weakly. "We won," Daquan confirmed. "Good. I'm going to sleep for a week." "You've earned it, Lieutenant. You saved the galaxy." "No, sir. We saved the galaxy. All of us. Deathworlders together." On Sanctuary Prime, 5 trillion beings celebrated. Council Prime Eldrin made a galaxy-wide announcement. The quarantine was permanently lifted. Humans were granted full council membership. Admiral Daquan was appointed Supreme Commander of the new Galactic Defense Force. Dr. Hei Sun worked with Commander Su Elu to establish cultural exchange programs. For the first time, humans and aliens could truly interact as equals. Months later, a young human officer approached Admiral Daquan. "Sir, can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Will Earth always have to be the galaxy's warriors? Will we always have to be the ones who fight?" Daquan looked out at the stars. Human ships now patrolled the borders of Council space. Species that once feared humans now slept peacefully because of them. "We came from a death world," he said finally. "We survived because we protected each other. Because we were willing to face danger so others didn't have to. Now our tribe is just bigger. These aliens are our people now. And we protect our people. That's what Deathworlders do." The young officer nodded. "I can live with that, sir." "So can I," Daquan said. "So can I." In the distance, Earth hung in space. A blue marble covered in scars from a million disasters. A world that had tried to kill its children over and over. And those children had survived, had thrived, had become strong. Strong enough to protect an entire galaxy. The Deathworlders had found their purpose, and the galaxy was safe because of it.